Hello, I am making breakfast pancakes, OT cinnamony breakfast pancakes, and I really thought you'd enjoy seeing this. I've been writing a low histamine E cookbook recently. I've been very caught up actually with that, and I have been quite immersed in just trying to get some low histamine ingredients that are delicious and easy to make. And I was actually particularly pleased with this pancake, so I wanted to share it with you, even though the low histamine cookbook isn't going to be released until next month. And that's going to be on my shop's website, so easy just to buy and download. But I just thought, no, I was going to share this with you now so you could see it. Anyway, here we go. What have I done? I've put 1 egg into a bowl, and I'm putting about 1/3 of a cup of milk. That's about 100 mils of milk into the bowl, and you could use any milk you like. You can use dairy milk, which is low histamine, but you could also use a low histamine oat milk or a low histamine rice milk, as long as it's calcium fortified. What else am I putting in? I'm putting in a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Now, you know me, I love my extra virgin olive oil and how good it is as an anti-inflammatory in the body. But if you don't have any in the house, you could use just some melted butter, a tablespoon of that. And I'm going to put in a teaspoon of honey. I just want these pancakes to be faintly sweet, that's all, and a teaspoon is enough, because I'm also putting in a teaspoon of cinnamon. And the cinnamon is a beautiful spice, and it's lovely and sweet on your tongue. So actually, your tongue thinks you're having something sweeter than it is, which is really handy. And now I like my pancakes to be not really kind of too flat. I want them to have a teeny weeny bit of fluffiness to them. So I'm putting in 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder in there. And I am adding some chia seeds because I just love how good they are for the gut, and they're also more protein along with the egg. I'm adding about a tablespoon of chia seeds in there. So that's really building up now to be a gorgeous pancake. And now the oatiness. So I think I'm going to use, you could use actually any flour, wholemeal type flour, any flour you like. If it's low histamine, of course, it needs to be gluten-free, say gluten-free oats. But oats are fantastic. And I'm using just shy of 1/2 cup of oats, about 25 grams of oats. And these are whole rolled oats, but I want them to be flour. So I'm popping them in my blender. And I'm just going to blend them up. This is it. This is all you need to do. This is not a very powerful blender. It's just a regular smoothie maker. And it doesn't even have to be really fine. There we go. That's my oat flour, and I'm popping that into my pancake mixture. Now, oats are fantastic in your gut because they contain soluble and insoluble fibre, and your gut microbes love it, as well as your gut lining. In fact, I might put a few more oats in, just a few whole rolled oats in there as well. All right, now I think that's all the ingredients. I'm just looking around. I've got oats, chia seeds, a teeny bit of honey, a little bit of milk, some cinnamon, extra virgin olive oil, baking powder. I think I've got it all, and the egg, of course. Okay, now let's turn on my pan and get it heating up. Okay, so I'm just going to cook these off. Now, you could cook these as one giant big pancake. That works really well. I think I might make these as 2 pancakes, a little bit thinner than normal. So the mixture is very runny, and don't worry about that, it does set in the pan. Just making sure it's all mixed up really well. So it's just like liquid in your bowl, in fact. And that's perfectly okay. And in fact, if you let this set, sort of leave this for 30 minutes or so, it will actually go slightly thicker, because the chia seeds will, in the presence of liquid, they form a lovely little gel around their seeds, and actually that thickens everything up a bit. So I'm going to add a teeny bit of that extra virgin olive oil to my pan, just to kind of moisturize the pan. Just a little bit. Here we go, just a little bit. Just swirl that around a bit. Okay, all right. So let's get that going. So I'm going to add in about 1/2 the mixture in there. There we go. And get that cooking. And what you're wanting to do is cook it on probably medium heat. And for how long is really dependent on your pan and how it conducts heat through it. But usually, if I have my pan pretty hot, like definitely on medium, and it's hot before I put my pancake mixture in, then in fact that mixture actually only takes roughly about a minute on one side, a minute and a half before I turn it. Let's see how it goes, because I didn't preheat my pan, so it will just take a little bit longer than normal. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I want to just top it with. Now this is a low histamine recipe, so we're not going to top it with any yogurt or any fermented food, because fermented foods are high histamine. However, I have got some blueberries and black currants here, and they were frozen and I defrosted them, and I've been mashing them up a bit because I wanted to make almost like a coulis with the berries. And so they were kind of like a little bit of wetness, like a little bit of juice coming out of them. So I've been mashing them up with a fork. There we go. And they're just gorgeous. Look at that dark colour. That's the phytonutrient called anthocyanin in there. And your gut microbes love that just as much as our bodies. And that's terrific. So that's really good. All right, so let me pop my oats out of the way. And forward. Let's have a look at how that's going. Can you see how there's little bubbles starting to form on top of the pancake? When you start seeing those bubbles, you know that it's cooked through a little bit on the bottom. So it's not quite ready, but any moment now I'll be able to turn it. Let me just get a feel, because it's kind of, yeah, not quite, but going almost. And so otherwise, if I wasn't using the dark berries to top it with, I might top it with some cooked apple. That's gorgeous dolloped on top. With the apple maybe having cinnamon or cloves in it or something. That's a really nice one. Then I might even get a fresh pear or something and just grate it over the top. That's a lovely one. Okay, that's ready to turn. There we go. Now, I'm not going to flip it in the air, sorry. I've done that too many times on video, and when I flipped it, it's kind of ended up the other side of the kitchen, so that's as flipped as you're going to get it. It never takes as long to cook on the second side as the first, literally 30 seconds usually, and then it'll be ready. In fact, I know from having made these several times that that's actually ready. So I'm going to bring that out onto my plate and put the second one in. There we go. Just doing that. In fact, I didn't divide that mixture up evenly. That's okay. So let that cook. Now what might I do actually? I might just cut these up and kind of pile them up in quarters. That looks quite nice on the plate. Oh yum, the cinnamon smell coming off these is absolutely fantastic. Just beautiful. Oh, a bit hot. Gorgeous. Lovely, pretty pancakes. Yum. And then what I might do with that is get some of this berry and just pile it on the top. Gorgeous. Oh yeah. A good handful of berries. And that's how I would eat it. And this other one will be ready in a second. You see how it's bubbling over? So I'll be able to flip it in a minute. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these as much as me.